After my twin was beaten for a year, he asked me to take his place. We're identical twins. Same height, same build, same voice, even the same small scar above our left eyebrow from a childhood bike accident. Growing up, we used this to our advantage constantly. We'd swap classes in high school, pretend to be each other at family gatherings, fool teachers and relatives for laughs. Our parents could tell us apart, but almost everyone else struggled unless they knew us really well. So when my brother showed up at my apartment last March looking like he'd been through hell, I knew exactly what he was asking before he even said the words. His face was covered in bruises. Dark purple marks bloomed across his left cheekbone, fading into sickly yellow-green at the edges. His bottom lip was split, crusted with dried blood. When he moved, he winced and held his ribs like they might crack open. His knuckles were scraped raw, but worse than the physical injuries was the look in his eyes. Completely hollow, broken. I pulled him inside and he collapsed onto my couch, head hanging forward, hands gripped so tight his knuckles turned white. Then he told me everything. His wife's brothers had been using him as a punching bag for almost a year. It started small, aggressive jokes at family dinners, shoving that was disguised as roughhousing between guys. They'd mock his job in marketing, call him soft, weak, not man enough for their sister. His wife would sometimes laugh along or just stay silent. Then it escalated. They started showing up at the house unannounced, letting themselves in with keys his wife had given them. They'd eat his food, change the channel on his TV, make it clear he had no say in his own home. When his wife wasn't around, they'd corner him, push harder, test his boundaries. Around 7 months in, one of them threw him into a wall when he asked them to leave because his daughter was trying to sleep upstairs. That's when the real beatings started. They'd catch him in the garage or wait until his wife left for work. Body shots mostly. Places that could be hidden under clothes. A few facial hits that he explained away as workplace accidents. They threatened his 5-year-old daughter. Said things about custody battles, about how easy it would be to paint him as an unfit father. Those threats paralyzed him. He couldn't leave, couldn't fight back, couldn't tell anyone. His wife saw the bruises but accepted every excuse without pushing. Maybe she didn't want to face the truth. Maybe she was willfully blind. Either way, she never chose his safety over keeping peace with her family. That's when he asked me to switch places with him, just for a few weeks. Long enough for him to escape and breathe. And because we'd spent our entire lives being mistaken for each other, he thought I could pull it off. I should have said no, but I couldn't let my brother go back to that nightmare alone. We spent 3 days preparing everything. He walked me through his daily routine, showed me photos of his office, taught me his coworkers' names. I learned about his daughter's bedtime routine, the voices he used for different storybook characters, her obsession with dinosaurs. I memorized how his wife took her coffee, what shows she watched, how she'd scroll through her phone instead of talking. Most importantly, he described every detail about the brothers. When they'd show up, what they'd say, how the violence would unfold. Then we made the switch. He cut his hair to match mine. We swapped clothes, wallets, phones, keys. I drove him to a remote cabin 2 hours north and told him to stay there while I handled everything. But I wasn't just going to survive in his place. I was going to set a trap. I bought tiny cameras disguised as everyday objects. A clock on the mantle, a phone charger in the kitchen, a smoke detector in the hallway. I kept a voice recorder pen in my shirt pocket. Everything backed up to cloud storage. Then I moved into his life. I went to his job, tucked his daughter into bed, played the role of the beaten down husband. The brothers showed up right on schedule. Wednesday evening, one of them walked in without knocking, grabbed a beer from the fridge and started his routine. Insults about my job, my masculinity, my worth, shoving me against counters, crowding my space. The cameras caught everything. For 6 weeks, I documented it all. Every threat, every punch, every moment of psychological torture. I built an airtight case with timestamps, high-definition footage, and crystal clear audio. Week 6, the family gathered for the parents' anniversary dinner. 35 people packed into their house. After dessert, I stood up and connected my laptop to their TV. I played a 12-minute compilation. 6 weeks of abuse in perfect clarity. The room went dead silent. Some people started crying. The parents looked like they were having heart attacks. Then I signaled the 2 police officers I'd stationed outside. They walked in and arrested both brothers in front of the entire family. As they dragged one of them toward the door, he turned back with pure hatred in his eyes and spat, "You'll regret this. We'll destroy you in court." I looked at him calmly and said, "I'm not your victim. I'm his twin brother." His face went completely blank.